All right.
It's good to finally get some heat here in the last couple of days practicing.
We don't talk about the weather, so I don't know if there was there any heat?
Is it good to have heat, to have some heat that you would normally have? It's been pretty mild this month.
I mean, really, we try to look at every day exactly the same because we know we're not going to control it, whether it was cool or hot or raining or snowing or sleeting or whatever it is. There's two teams going to go on the field, and we got to compete no matter what it is. So we try really hard not to think about the things that we don't control. So we hope that's going to be our edge, is that we don't let something like an outside factor like that affect the way we play the game or the way we attack it.
As far as seeing their conditioning in the heat, it's more what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think our conditioning is where it needs to be right now. I mean, I really do. I think you're coming out of camp. You're still recovering from camp a little bit. You want guys to get in the cold tubs as much as possible, take care of their bodies, so that we can be back at 100% here soon. Because we're not at 100% right now, but that's expected when you come out of camp.
Have you introduced the team to Liberty yet?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've had 2 good days of Liberty, and we're I'd say probably about 75% of the game plan has been at least introduced at this point.
What's the idea behind that? I know you do that in the past, but what's the idea of getting a head start before the first game?
I've just always 10 days out have started pulling back a little bit as far as the periods, the amount of time, the volume that you put on them, but we start installing game plan about 10 days out and take it all the way in. Now, a lot of things are the things that you worked that were basic going into camp, and you worked all camp, so it's not like there's a whole lot of difference, except now you're actually working against the looks that you're going to see, and not every look that you're going to see an entire season.
Do you feel like you've accomplished what you wanted to this point? I mean, 10 days out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, you'd love to have more time, but you don't. You'd love to have more depth, but you don't. It is what it is. So we work with what we have. We're not going. We talk about. We're not going to pick up anybody off of waivers. We're not going to get anybody in free agency. So this is our team, and we've got to work with everything we've got.
What stuck out to you when you have looked at the Liberty film?
I know Turner Gill's going to do a great job. I mean, just having a very sound football team. They're going to play hard. He's going to be sound in all 3 phases of the game. I think they've done a really nice job with the personnel they have, and both in all 3 phases. They're very. If you look at them, I mean, they can move the football. They play very sound on defense. They tackle well. They run to the ball well, and they're very solid on all their special teams. So we know, there's some unknown for us on some guys that aren't going to be back. Like the punter's not back, the snapper's not back. So there's some things that are unknown. But we'll try to be prepared whatever they throw at us.
I know you're not going to announce it. Are you going to use the weekend to make a decision on Mitchell Marquise, or is that stretching next week?
Oh, it could stretch into next week. Yeah, I really have not set a date that I feel like that I have to do that. I don't, if I felt like it was going to affect our team one way or the other, or any of those guys, then I would, but I don't think it's going to.
Have you made most of the decisions about the freshman redshirting?
We have some ideas, but nothing's set in stone. It's too early to set it in stone, because a guy rolls an ankle and he's going to be out for 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, somebody's got to step up.
But when you go into the Liberty game, do you have?
We have an idea, because we intend not to play somebody, then we're going to try to keep them out no matter what the situation is. But if we think somebody's going to be able to help us as we go through the season, then we're going to try to get them into that game if we can and get them some live reps.
What's impressed you most about Marquise Otis this game?
Just that hasn't changed since I got here, really. Just his motor. That guy's got a motor. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. I mean, he's hard every single play. That's what he does. He plays hard. If he makes a mistake, he's doing it full speed. You hear coaches all the time. You say, hey, if you don't worry about making the mistake, just go full speed, and that's what he does. And he's cut way down on his mistakes because he understands, he knows what he's doing. And probably the biggest thing I've seen from him this year is take on a tremendous role as a leader. I mean, he really has come on as a leader. And I would have to say right now, if you had to pick out one guy on the defense, he would be the guy that you would pick out as the leader.
Is he pretty close to the ideal for that bayonet position?
He's very athletic. He's very athletic. He's up to 250 pounds now, right there at it. He's kept his weight all through camp, so it's been really good weight, and he still has that explosiveness and that get off it that we need.
How would you say Ryan has progressed at receiver throughout camp?
He's so far ahead now of where he was last year at the receiver position. I mean, where he really truly starts to understand, when we install packages, route packages, he understands the whole package. He understands, now it's not so much just what do I do, where do I line up and what do I do, but how does what I do affect the whole the route. And so now he understands that. He could actually play a couple positions in there if we needed him to, which is good for us.
Given some of the inexperience in the front line defensively, are you pleased with where the linebackers are right now? Because
that's the experience right there. I mean, with Schottmer and Travis, and and Norkeithus and Shaquille Rashad. I mean, there's where there's where your strength is. I mean, those guys have a lot of good reps, and so I mean, there was a day a few towards the end of camp where I watched the D-line and it looked like they were dragging in the individual, and we go to inside, and the linebackers are just juiced. I mean, full of energy, and all of a sudden there's a play made, and they start bringing the D-line with them. And then the D-line has a great practice the rest of the way. So they're the ones that have to carry those guys. They're the ones that got to bring them along.
Nazir Jones had that odd injury in his junior year of high school. Did that make you hesitant at all in terms of recruiting him? And then how has he progressed since?
Yeah, it was really scary. I mean, when I went to see Nazir, I mean, he was on crutches, and within 5 minutes he couldn't even stand there and talk to me. He had to sit down because there was so much pain, and that was a scary situation. I mean, he went from like 250 pounds to 220 or 15. I don't know exactly what it was, but I mean, that was scary for him and his family, his coaches. I mean, everybody, And yeah, we wanted to make, we kept recruiting him. We stayed in touch, but we wanted to make sure that we knew he was healthy coming out of that thing, and he was. And we've been, knock on wood, he's been healthy, and now he's up to about 290 pounds or 285 pounds, and he's really developed in the inside, and I think he's going to be a really good player for us in the future.
Dom Green has more starts at his position than anyone else in the secondary. What have you seen from him during camp?
I mean, he was a true freshman doing that also. That's what's amazing about him. He's the guy right there. He's the guy that's brought the energy every single day. I mean, he enjoys playing. His confidence level is so much higher than it was last year. I mean, at this time, it's like two different people actually. And so, now he's not afraid to make a play, or if he makes a mistake, he knows he's okay. He can get it corrected.
Is it important, especially coming out of scholarship productions, to have a guy walk on, kind of rise up?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, you got two starters on the defense with Schottmer and him that both walked on this football team, and that says a lot about our program and the way we do things, I think, and the development that Lou does with our guys. It tells you that every guy on this football team's equal. Everybody's got a chance, and we've got guys that step in and prove themselves and earn scholarships.
All right, thanks
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.